There we go. Hey guys, good morning. I forgot to add myself to the stream before I went live. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Royal News Network Saturday morning live stream. I can't believe it's been a week since the coronation. This time last week, let's see, I was probably just recovering or attempting to get back to my hotel from the coronation. And so that was amazing. I cannot believe that it's been a week. It's been a crazy week, so exciting. And so I'm so glad to be back with you all. And this will be the last time I probably have this setup because I'll be moving early next week. And so I'll have a new setup here within the next couple of weeks. And so, yeah, so lots of royal news. Obviously, we have some of the official photographs of the royal family. We also have King Harald of Norway. He is in the hospital again with an infection. I really feel like he may be, sadly, the next monarch to pass. I feel like every couple of months we get reports of him having an infection, being in the hospital. And then we also have, obviously, Prince Harry's latest court case. The guy loves to sue people. He really, really does. And he thinks somehow this will make his life all better, which I don't think so. And his obsession apparently with his ex-girlfriend, Chelsy Davy, which I don't blame him. She seems to live a really awesome life. She has her own boutique travel company. She has her own jewelry line with that sources basically high quality rubies, emeralds, turquoise, not turquoise. Oh gosh, what is it called? Tanzanite. And she has some diamonds and I think white topaz too. If you've never checked out her jewelry line, you should. It's called Aya, Aya. And so it's definitely worthwhile to check out because I've seen some of her stuff, but it's pricey. But I think she gets really high quality stuff. And she's also a lawyer. So she lives an awesome life. And I think Harry's just jealous that he couldn't get the woman he really loved. And then we have Meghan Markle. Oh gosh, her little shenanigans. We have a new social media post of her and one of her mom friends. And I always think it's funny that she goes on and on about being a mom, yet we never ever see her with her children. So it's just hard to connect with you being a mom. And when you're talking about, well, I'm a mom and I do this and do that. And it's like, well, honey, I've never ever seen you basically hold your children, except for very brief glimpses in Netflix, which are very carefully managed. So anyways, guys, that's some of what the royal news we can talk about, but we can talk about anything this morning. So I just want to say hello to some of our normal and people who are here already. So we have Lucy. Hi, Brittany. It's Lucy from Australia, 13th. May is my 30th birthday. So I'd love if you give me a shout out. Absolutely. Happy birthday. That's so exciting. I hope you had a great 30th birthday because now it's probably almost the 14th. So I hope you had a great birthday and really, really enjoyed it. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, guys, fingers crossed. There's been a lot of talk and we've heard it again and again that Catherine and William, I think, are going to go to Australia with the kids, hopefully maybe in October. I'm really hoping that's the case. I think that'll be awesome. I really want them to go, especially with the kids. So I'm really, really hoping that might be the true because that would be, I would love to go to Australia. That would be my sixth continent besides Antarctica. So that's just kind of like a goal, hashtag goal right there. Lisa Reed, I love so much. Enjoy your channel. Love from an Aussie. Yay. We got a lot of Aussies on here this morning. Linda, just love your channel. I learned so much and you make everything so fun. I'm so glad. That's so exciting. Yeah, I enjoy I was going to be a teacher and then I was like, I heard like the placement rates for history teachers was like super bad. So I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I won't waste my time. Not like getting a history degree is necessarily a ton better, but at least I enjoyed it more. Gigi Blooms, hi from Australia. It'll be midnight when you begin on Mother's Day for us. It was so lovely seeing Catherine being a wonderful mother at the Scout working bee. The kids are obviously raised well. I would totally agree with that. Catherine is super engaged with her kids. And you can tell too that her and William definitely parent them. They don't leave it to the nanny. The nanny does what the nanny is supposed to do, which is assist the parents in parenting. Well, not even parenting quite as much. She's there to assist the parents in helping the kids run their lives effectively. She's not there to parent the kids. You know, she's not the person that doles out, you know, maybe a minimal amount of discipline or something. I mean, I'm sure she does, but it's not like the parents leave all of that to her. And so I thought the kids were exceptionally well behaved. They were very much children. And yeah, so I just want to say, Meghan, if you really want us all to see you as a parent, we need to see you actually parent your children. You talking about being a parent is not as effective as actually seeing you with your children being a parent. But I know that's a scary thought because maybe they'll have a meltdown and maybe you can't deal with that. That would always be my guess. I always thought if Harry and Meghan made it for a while that we would see them at an official royal engagement and Archie would have a tantrum or something and Meghan would not know what to do. Neither would Harry. I just always, to me, that was always a vision in my mind. I also think she doesn't want anybody competing for her, the attention that she wants. So she doesn't really bring the kids to anything, which I think is just super sad. Hashtag sad life for Archie and Lily, I think. Letitia, good morning. Greetings from Connecticut. I still can't have enough of Prince William and Princess Kate. Yes, if you guys haven't seen, there's also a new video Kensington Palace released on YouTube, which I think is pretty good. My only critique I would say is that I felt like there was just a lot of B-roll and I wanted to see the Waleses more. And so after a while, I'm like, we've seen a lot of this before. We kind of put this all together. I'm like, can we just like put just a couple of things there. So yeah. So we have Gemma. It looks like they changed up my thing, which is awesome. Lots of nasty comments online about Katy Perry's performance. The music isn't my cup of tea, but her daughter is half British and her excitement to participate was genuinely endearing. I like her. Yeah, I think that's great. I thought some of her behavior at Westminster Abbey, that would be what I would criticize her for more. She was like taking selfies, like taking pictures of her feet in front of one of the graves. And I'm like, you're at the coronation, like stop taking pictures, like go sit down. But I didn't really get to a chance. I saw some of the concert, but I was actually kind of half studying too, so I didn't get to watch the full thing. But I think it's great what she did. I mean, it's Katy Perry, it's awesome. So yeah, I think that works. So I'm happy and excited that she was able to go. I think that's great. All right, and we also have Kit Kat. Hey, Brittany, I love what you do. How do you console yourself after receiving some of those bizarre, hateful comments on Royal Twitter? I hope you're all right. Thank you. Yes, it was weird. If you're not on Royal Twitter, you're probably not missing out, really. I mean, there's some nice things about being on it, and it's more for like keeping up with the news, and a lot of people do it for that. And so I totally get it. And only like what 2% of the population is on Twitter, but half of those people are just nasty people. And what's really weird is somehow I got on the radar of an actor from Sex and the City, and I'm like, what? Why do you care? And he totally admitted he knew nothing about royals, but was criticizing my criticism of Meghan Markle. I'm like, yeah, dude, you don't really know anything. It was so weird. It was so weird. So I'm okay. It was just you want to have discussion, but when it just got so negative and so ugly, that's what made it hard. Just because it's like, well, it's great that we can have a discussion and talk about different things, but like, so much they accuse our side of hate. And I was like, have you guys seen your own comments? I was like, I'm like pot calling kettle black there, I think, in so many ways. So yeah, it was a weird experience. I mean, I grew a bit on it, so that was nice, but yeah, I could have done without all the craziness. I could have done without it. But thankfully it's finally over because I was just like, ugh, I was done right there. Tea time with Mima. I love your channel. Keep up the good work. Ignore the nasty people. Thank you. That's what I try to do. I just try to ignore them. I just feel like they are sad little people in their hovel or whatever who can't think beyond they just don't come across as upright. Because like they think they're super smart and they got something good coming back to you, and then you try to explain something to them and they totally ignore your explanation and they go on to the next thing, and it's like, yeah, you don't really want to hear anything, do you? You don't actually want to learn, you just want to spew your nonsense. So I just ignore them. That's what I do. So that's the best way to do it. Well, I mean, it's really the only way to do it, let's be honest. We have Tiffany. Hello from the Midwest, USA. Were Catherine and William really late to the coronation if King Charles was actually 5 minutes early? I don't think so. I mean, honestly, because I didn't get to watch it live. I just was in the crowd. So, and you could hear the audio, but we honestly had no clue what was going on. Like we had no video. You couldn't get any internet access. So it was a little bit frustrating because it's like I was totally blind. There was this huge event going on, and I'm here for the huge event, and I know nothing about it. I don't know what Catherine's wearing. I don't know what anybody else is wearing because the internet, we lost it probably about 8 or 9 a.m. As soon as I think the park was full, somebody said they shut down the internet. But I know as well, like once you have a large group of people together in one spot, like the internet just slows to a crawl. And so I'm not sure if they were able to block all the internet access. I don't know what it was. And so I don't know if they were late. I mean, I did notice it started late, but I mean, honestly, it was only a couple minutes. Like they were on time for an event that big to not run 10, 20 minutes over. Like I have no complaints because I really wanted the end of it. So, I mean, yeah, it's like who was late, who was early. Like it pretty much started right on time. That was just Omid Scobie. He had to have something to complain about. So he blames children for maybe making them a little bit late. Children who he does not have any. He has a dog. I don't have any either, but I know at least that it takes much more to get children out of the house than it does to take a dog out of the house. So all I had to do is get my doggies a little harness and her leash, and she is pretty much good to go. She has a little carrier she sits in the front of my car, and she loves that. So all right. So we got so many more. Hey, from Susie Q, Kimberly. Hey, Brittany. Aw. And then Millie says happy birthday to Lucy. Lucy's getting a lot of happy birthday messages, which is awesome, guys. Okay, we'll go down here real quick. And then we have Millie says, thank you. Happy Mother's Day to all the lovely moms out there. Yes, happy Mother's Day to everyone. Then we also have Rambling Haven. Hi, Brittany and Pippa. Good morning from the Philippines. Hello. Miss Pippa is sleeping on the blanket right next to me. I would get her up, but she is sleeping. And so unless she starts getting fussy, I'm just going to let her sleep. All right. We also have Joan G. Would Diana have lost her title Princess of Wales when Princess Catherine was given the title? Technically, probably no. If Diana had married again, yes, she would have lost the title. When Catherine became the Princess of Wales, Catherine became the Princess of Wales, and whereas Diana was Diana, Princess of Wales. So it was a little bit different title. And I mean, it's still hard when it comes to the Google search algorithm. If you put in Princess of Wales, it is changing to Catherine, but deep in the algorithm, it's still Diana. So that's why oftentimes I use Kate Middleton sometimes in the title of things, because honestly, I mean, the search engine still just recognize it as Diana. So that's kind of challenging. So, but I think too, especially for the newer generation, it's been so long since Diana that a lot of people are just like, oh, Catherine's the Princess of Wales. So there is some recognition of obviously the past with Diana, but I think a lot of people are also looking towards the future. Van says, is it Mother's Day? I hope it's just an American Mother's Day, as I've just been around my mom's. Yeah, so American Mother's Day is tomorrow. So yeah, that's always a good day. Oh, and Michelle, thank you so much for the super sticker. You are so kind. And then we also have my cat's name is Karen. Oh, thank you so much for the tip. I have to say that the Princess of Wales has really come into her own. The pics from the Coronation were stunning of her. Yeah, I think William, Prince of Wales. I always want to think Princess, but no, Prince of Wales. Yeah, I think William has really I think he struggled in a lot of ways because I mean, becoming the Prince of Wales, it's like a huge, huge thing. And I think it definitely did part of his destiny did overwhelm him for a while. But I think he's settled into it a lot. I think Catherine has helped. I think having the children has helped. I think he feels but also a closer connection to his father and to his grandmother in their final years. And although Harry has thrown a wrench into everything, I think is at the same time, he and Charles are very much completely on the same page about what the future looks like and everything. And I know a couple people, there's been reports out there that Charles will give up the throne after 10 years. I don't think that's the case, guys. I really don't. Okay. Mama Namid says, hello from Canada. Do you think we'll get better pictures of the women's gowns from the Coronation? I especially want to see Catherine's. I really hope so, because I think even the quality of that big group shot, if you try to blow it up, like the quality of the picture is not that good. I don't know what went. I think they should have chosen a different photographer for that, to be quite honest. People also noticed that was unbalanced. So I think we'll definitely get better pictures. And there will also, it sounds like, be an exhibition. So this is according to Bruce Oldfield, who designed Camilla's dress, that apparently the gowns will probably go on display maybe around July 14th, I believe, at Buckingham Palace. And I hope that's the case. And I hope we figure out like how to get like tickets for that. It's like as soon as they announce it, I'm like buying tickets and I'm figuring out how to get there. Not gonna lie, because I really want to see Catherine's up close. I think it would be awesome. So yeah, I think it'll be a great exhibition. Okay. Sorry, I just saw this question from Joan. What shade of lipstick are you wearing? And I had it on my thing, and then now I think I don't. Nope, that's not it. So it's one of the Dior. Oh gosh, I'd have to look it up and see because it's not one of their lips. Sorry, it's not one of their lipsticks. It's kind of their it's kind of a lip gloss slash lipstick. I think I got it in the rosewood shade. I think that's it because I found that I really like it. I think it's a really good shade. I don't like some of their other ones, but I do like this one. I'd have to look now because now it's gonna bother me what it was because I do think it's really good. I do really like it. So yeah, thanks so much for the question, Joan. Has Emily Kelly says, has anyone seen the official picture of the Queen, the King, and heirs? Yes. So if you guys haven't seen that one, we did get that one of Charles and his heirs, which I think is absolutely fantastic. It's amazing. I'm trying to look it up now. And we got images. Let's see here. And so, yeah, we got this official portrait of them, which I think is amazing. It's a good thing to have these, I think, in a lot of ways, because we do need to see these amazing shots, I think. And it is definitely one of those things that's just preparing everybody for the future. And we have it. Okay. So not the best, but yeah, so we have King George and King Charles, we have William and we have George together. And we also have obviously it was in the same room that they took the one with Her Majesty the Queen. So you feel, a little tinge of sadness that obviously Her Majesty the Queen isn't here, but obviously we have the continuation of the throne there, which I think is excellent. So yeah, it's a really, really cool picture, I think. And yeah, I think that's wonderful that we have that. I think it's super, super exciting for everyone. I know everybody was like, yay, finally we get more pictures. I'm still, again, waiting for us to get the picture of like the Waleses. I think that would be great. So, but we still haven't gotten that one yet. So hopefully. Okay, so nope. Yeah, it is it. So it's somebody who was asking for Joan. It's the Dior Addict Lip Glow in Rosewood. So I like it. It works. Claire says, would be so curious to know if Meghan used to watch the soap Guiding Light in the 1990s when Cassie married a prince of San Cristobal and suffered abuse from the royal family, I would guess. She might have. I mean, Meghan lives. You just feel it a lot that Meghan lives in like a Hollywood bubble in the terms of like everything is. Sorry. Say hello to Miss Pippa. She was trying to get down and she wasn't sure how to do that. So, I thank you. Okay. And she always lives, I think, in this Hollywood vein where she sees everything as a reflection of a Hollywood movie. So I think she's a little bit obsessed with Hollywood stuff, clearly. And so I think that's totally her. Kenjo, hi Brittany, glad to see you back from London. Me too, glad to get back. It was good to get back. Colleen says suing is his new job, not fair to pull Chelsy back into it, just help him. Yeah, I don't think it's fair to pull Chelsy back in. Again, she has her own thing. She does, and it's amazing. And I think that's phenomenal of her. Like, she did the barrister thing for a little while, and then she was like, you know what? I don't think this is totally for me. So she's like, So this is actually her jewelry line, Aya. And I think it's actually really cool. And so it's definitely has an Africa theme to it and everything. And so she just does do just particular, you could say, let's see, let's do rings. She does do like particular stones, and they're all sourced from Africa. So she doesn't take stones from elsewhere. So she gets tanzanite from Tanzania, ruby, emerald, and, depending on the gemstone, depends on how pricey the piece is, but they make custom stuff too. So I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's awesome of her that she does that now. And she has her own boutique travel company too. And so I'm like, I know that they didn't work out, but really the life Chelsy leads, I think, is what Harry would have envisioned for himself. So I think that's it. Rensky says, hi from Vietnam. Brittany, what do you think of the King's photograph with the 3 heirs? I just love it. Yeah, I think it's great. Again, great to get it. Oh, cheers from Chile. Love your channel. Oh, thank you so much, Catalina. You are so kind. All right, we have a couple here. So Alice O'Donnell, hi. Thank you so much for the tip. Hi, Brittany from Kent. Love your channel. I've been watching you for ages. You always cheer me up. Do you think we'll get a picture of the pages of honor with the king? I think that would be great. Again, I feel like there's several pictures we're missing. We're missing a picture with just the Waleses because I really want a picture of just them. I think that's important. And then obviously Charles and his pages. We did get one of Charles and his pages and Camilla and her pages together, but I don't know. I was like, oh, it'd be nice to just get something like that. Crash Hard, thank you so much for the super sticker. You are so kind. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, and so we're going to go through here. Hey, from Scotland, Kathy says, not as much enthusiasm here for coronation history and all. I'm here from Canada, and we had a little coronation tea with our 9-year-old. Oh, I hope you guys had fun. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of families were like trying to figure out how to celebrate because it is super cool. It's super cool. Now being down on the mile. It's not called the mile, but they pronounce it the mile type of way. Because I was listening to it in the Princess Anne interview. I'm like, I do hear mile, but it's mall. Yeah, something like that. So anyways, so yeah, it was a lot of fun if you weren't there. It was fun to be in the crowd. It is fun. And Mick Cinder said Chelsy figured out she was way smarter than the doofus. I didn't want to be saddled with the dimwit. Yeah, I think so. Chelsy's bright. Chelsy's smart. And so I just don't think after a while, and again, I said in my video that like, what if the thing that really broke them up wasn't the media, but Harry's obsession with it and paranoia of it. And she's like, you know what? I can't deal with this anymore. I love you. We enjoy, because I think they enjoyed a lot of the same things. That's why I just don't think Harry and Meghan's marriage will last, because it's like, what do they have in common? Like in terms of activities they like to do? Nothing. Everything's now Meghan. So Harry didn't do yoga, but with Meghan, he does yoga. Harry used to drink. Well, now he doesn't drink because Meghan doesn't like him to drink too much. And what about hunting? He used to enjoy that. Well, now he can't do that anymore. Like so many different things he enjoyed doing, she didn't let him do. So I think they won't last because of that. But yeah, I think Chelsy is really bright. And so she's like, yeah, I don't think any of this is worth it. So Claire says, hi, would be so curious. Oh, okay. I did answer that question earlier. Nike Vic says, any news on Markle family documentary? It just kind of fizzled out after the coronation. Yeah, I think so. I think the trouble that people have is that though the Markles, I think, have been wronged, they also look opportunistic. And so I think there's a challenge in the public sphere, whereas, yes, they're probably telling the truth, and yes, they feel slighted. Yet at the same time, not everyone can see it. Was like, well, you did call the paparazzi. You did share information about Meghan. I can see too why she wouldn't want to talk to you. So there's this weird kind of strange tension between the two sides. And I think that's completely natural and normal, to be quite honest. So I totally understand why that would be, and why, even though they're saying really interesting things, people are just like, they're just not totally on the train. And sometimes people just don't like the drama. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And again, the Markles just, I don't think, are quite as compelling as some of the other stuff. So yeah, I think people want the dirt on the royal family, and I think too, at this point, pretty much everybody knows that Meghan is not the nicest person in the world. What I thought was interesting when I was thinking about it is Millie McIntosh, who just said basically that Meghan totally blew her off after she got with Harry, even though Millie had tried to introduce her to a bunch of people in London and everything, is that people feel more comfortable now, I think, sharing with the world kind of that Meghan's not a great person. And I don't know if she would have said that before, or she definitely didn't say it around the time of the wedding. So bravo to her. She waited a while until I think it was more comfortable to say, you know what? Nobody likes Meghan Markle. So I feel comfortable not saying anything about saying my experience with Meghan Markle, which was not pleasant. So I think that's definitely something that people are coming to agree with more and more. My cat's name is Karen, says, I'm glad you're back safe. It was a blast watching your coronation coverage. Thank you. It was a lot of fun to do. It was a crazy day for sure. And I think it's something I'll always remember, and both positively and not so positively, because man, trying to get back to the hotel, that was, That was a tough haul, but it was really cool to be there, really cool to see the crown. And I can't wait to do it for Williams. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, better weather. Although maybe it's tradition now that it always rains. I mean, I know it always rains in the UK, but I was still like, Elizabeth Green, good morning. I'm planning a trip to London. Do you have any suggestions of places to stay, visit, or eat? So when it comes to places to stay, I mean, I would always say go with a hotel that's close to an underground station, because that's the fastest way to get anywhere. And so if you're really close, then it makes it super easy to jump on and get anywhere. When it comes to places to eat, like I love, when I go to Europe, I always feel like I eat, especially in London, maybe not everywhere, but most of Europe, I usually eat pizza because the pizza is always really good. And I went to this place, it was right near Harrods, called Crazy Pizza, and it was really good. I thought it was really good. And there's also another place called Milo's, and it was kind of in a hole in the wall place, not too far from Westminster Abbey. Actually, it was like a stop away. I can't remember, St. James's something. I don't want to say it's St. James's Park because it's not that part of town. But anyways, it was like this little hole in the wall place. It was really good too. And when it comes to visit, I mean, obviously, check out Westminster Abbey, Tower of London, St. Paul's is really beautiful. Kensington Palace. I would say hit all the big spots. The Victoria and Albert Museum is free. The British Museum is free, which is awesome too, especially if you're on a budget, because some of those places can get pricey. You can always get, especially for the royal palaces, you can always get the membership, and that saves you a little bit. And you can go then any other time. I did that, thankfully, when I went for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, and I've been able to use that pretty liberally since, which has been super nice. Because anytime I can go, I'm like, oh, I have my member number. Let me just go and get a free ticket. And usually, too, if you're a member, they just kind of, you just come up and go, I'm a member, and they just kind of, they don't look at you as closely as they would somebody else if you're not like they're right on time. They're like, oh, you're a member, you can go. So yeah, I would say do the normal tourist things. I did like a little ghost tour one time, which wasn't too bad, which I thought was kind of fun. So yeah, just do like a tour around the city. I mean, just hang out. I just think it's fun. It's a fun place to be. I will say though, it's getting to that time of year where it's kind of stuffy in the stations in the underground, but yet hot up top. So it's getting a little. It's definitely not a bunch of air conditioning down there. Let me just say that. So. Prang Sen says, thank you for congratulations to your photo in the Daily Mail. Thank you. Yeah, I was in the Daily Express, which was awesome. And I was just super excited. So I bought 6 copies, and then I was going to bring back the whole thing, like the whole newspaper. And then I realized, thank goodness, like the day before I left, that I could just get rid of the excess weight of all the newspapers I had purchased. So I had have all the Coronation editions of all the newspapers, and I have 6 of mine. I have one full one and a couple half ones. So I think that's good. Good afternoon from North Yorkshire. Wishing everyone in America a very happy Mother's Day. Yes. Jeannie says, do you think Catherine was asked her opinion when Meghan was included in the event? Yes. Apparently, according to reports, Catherine is very much deeply involved in things now. And she's getting, I think, more involved in matters of state, you could say. And so I think she is definitely somebody who's just getting to have more and more influence. And I think she's earned it. She's put in her time. She's kept her head down, and she can come to the events now with a healthy amount of respect for them. Whereas Meghan wanted to give all of her opinions and knew nothing about how anything worked. That's a problem. That's a real problem. So Meow says, what do you say to Omid Scobie trying to put the Wales' children in the bad corner? I think it's awful. I don't think anybody talks to him. I don't think anybody in the royal establishment talks to that guy. And so his coming in and saying, well, they were late because the children were late. And I'm like, dude, you have a dog. You know nothing about children. They were there pretty much on time. So you know what? Let it go. MSR says, let's all take a moment to show support for Chelsy Davy. She's just trying to live her life, and the bullet that she dodged wants to drag her into court for breaking up with him years ago. Yeah. Poor Chelsy Davy. I hope she gets called in to testify and she just throws him under the bus a bit. I think that'd be kind of nice. I think it would be well deserved. Chelsy Davy, again, guys, she has her own stuff. She has her own companies. She does her own thing. And again, it's just incredible, like how he just keeps bringing her up. But again, I think she's the one who got away. And I think if he could have his like thing that came back and like that he could really enjoy, it would be Chelsy. So here is actually her like travel site. It looks amazing. Like if I could afford to do it, it's like boutique travel. I'm sure it's pretty pricey, but it looks incredible. It looks really incredible. This is just the main landing page. It's really, really well done. And so I think it's great that they have this. She has this whole thing that she's done because she knows a lot about Africa. And again, you can imagine Harry helping with these and enjoying it a lot. I don't know if he enjoys all this producing stuff that he's being forced to do. Like, even if they're probably not even doing that much of it, but it's like he's doing all this stuff. And it's like he would much rather be there doing this. Now, again, not saying that they should get back together, but you can see how something like this should appeal to a lot more of the Harry we know than what he's currently doing. What Harry's currently doing, he's never expressed interest in whatsoever. So I like keep watching it. It's gorgeous, isn't it? And they're not even repeating really anything. It's really pretty good. That's amazing. So yeah, I'm sure going on those tour things is incredible. I'm sure they do an excellent job. And because she knows so much about Africa. And so, anyways, Chelsy Davy, she definitely dodged a bullet, but Harry also really lost out. He really, really lost out. So, anyways, just got to say that. Just got to say that right there. Sugar says, thank you so much for the tip. They called you cheeky on one of the Australian news channels for asking for a selfie. Hello. Well, I don't mind being cheeky. I think that's fine. That works for me. I was very polite. I said, can I please have a selfie? Because I really wanted one. And that was like the one thing I wanted. I mean, I wanted to shake her hand. I wanted to have a chat, but I think sometimes too, it depends on the story you have to tell. And there was some other people who had better stories to tell in terms of like, that woman who had her engagement ring based after Kate. So I just didn't have that much to talk to her about at that particular moment. I just really wanted my selfie. So if I will proudly wear that cheeky label because I got a selfie and I did not wrap my arm around her neck and like drag her in. Don't do that, guys, because there was this one girl and she took a selfie with Catherine and she like put her arm fully around her and like was dragging her in by her neck. And I know it was just an enthusiasm, but if more people do that, guys, there will be no more selfies. So let's all make a promise that if Catherine agrees to do a selfie with you, do the polite thing and let her initiate the personal contact rather than grabbing her by the neck, because the security guard was not happy with that. So, and if they do that too much, yeah. Bonnie from Texas, if Harry had not left the family, do you think he would have been the next Duke of York when Andrew passed and eventually Prince Louis? I always wondered that because the Duke of York would be the traditional title, but honestly, Andrew's 10 years younger than Charles. So the idea of Andrew dying before Charles is a little bit more remote than if they were closer in age in terms of siblings. So I think the definitely now the case, it will pass definitely to Louis. But I think overall, I just don't think it would have gone to Harry because the Duke of York title, it would just been silly to give him that title, especially when there's another Duke of York that's going to come up. Yeah, I don't think so. Kara says, thanks for the Whittards recommendation. Bought a ton of tea while there. Hello from Nashville. Hello. I'm so glad you got the tea. I've thought about getting the tea from there. And so, but I do like the hot chocolate. I'm doing actually the peanut butter hot chocolate right now. And I did though it's called Knoops or something. It's this melted chocolate, hot chocolate company. They like do melted chocolate. And I did get a sampler set from them. So I'm anxious to try that out too. But that requires a lot more effort because you have to like put it in the saucepan or stuff or a hot chocolate maker. And I'm like, well, what is a hot chocolate maker? I'm like all for that. But Eric says, hi, Brittany, exactly what part of Harry would Harry have participated in during the coronation ceremony if Meghan had never happened? So he would definitely have been in the front row with William. Him and his wife, whoever Harry's wife was, would have been in the front row with their children if they had children that were old enough. And then when William came to get the oath of loyalty, Harry would have come up and done it the same. That's what I think his role would have been. William also spoke at the coronation. I think Harry may have been able to speak as well, but Harry's taken himself out of the equation, so he doesn't have anybody else to blame but himself. All right, Tanya, thank you so much for the tip. I told everyone you're my aunt from my mother's side after the Catherine pick went around. Hope your morning is wonderful. Thank you. That's so funny. I hope I did you proud in our fake little family. I think that would have been kind of awesome. Yeah. So that's wonderful. I love it. So cute. So cute. So yeah. So I think it's good. Sorry, I was reading this question and I'm wondering, my cat's name is Karen. MM looks so skinny. Do you think she's on Ozempic? Pretty much everyone in Hollywood is. If she isn't, I wouldn't be. If she is, I wouldn't be surprised. Is that necessarily a bad thing? There's some weird side effects with it, so I can't say it's a great idea, but that's her choice. Michelle says, do you think Harry will ever get over his jealousy over George? No. unless he like can come to this like realization. So Ken Joe asked which Sex and the City asker. It was the guy who plays Charlotte York's husband. The second one. Harry Goldenblatt or whatever. So yeah, I saw his name and I was like, that name sounds super familiar. So yeah, I was like, what? It was just weird. I was like, why do you care? That was my own thing. It's like, I'm in the royal space, so I comment on royals. It's like, but you're even telling me you don't know anything about any of this. And you're like, well, you feel the need to talk. And I'm like, why? But then again, that's just me. I try not to step out of my lane too much. So, but anyways, it's funny. I just decide, and I'm like, and I'm like, I actually stopped watching the show years ago because I just don't think in a lot of ways it's as positive as it likes to portray itself as is. And I think that the character of Carrie is actually rather obnoxious at times. So Tati L says they have a new show and just like that, Samantha didn't come back and Big died. Yeah, I did hear that. I heard it was awful. I heard it was absolutely awful. So Chris says, do you ever read all the chat you receive from people after the live streams is over? I mean, sometimes I've tried, but it is kind of weird because you can't totally like scroll through it. Because after it's done, I guess I could do it before I get out of this little thing. But once it's done, it's like you would actually have to watch. You would actually have to watch the whole video to watch the chat. I don't always like watching myself, so I'll be totally honest there. Okay. Oh, Night Owl says, Brittany, the internet is bad at Buckingham Palace. I was there too, but could not get access. Yes, it was awful. I was like so annoyed because it's like I'm here and I feel so excited, and yet I cannot enjoy any of the event to a certain extent because it's like I can't see or like because I couldn't like tweet or comment. So it's like it's kind of a big thing too if you're on social media and stuff to like comment about an event. And I'm sitting here going, I'm at the event, and yet I cannot tell anybody what it's like to be at the event until later. I could tell you guys later, but it's still hard. MSR says, good morning, Brittany. Happy Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Yay! Katy Perry is also ambassador of Charles's British Asian Trust. Oh, I'm surprised. That's interesting. I didn't know that. That's awesome. So, so Saab said, I think KC3 was early and the bells were late too. I think people were taken by surprise. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge event. I mean, not everything goes off without a hitch. So I think it's fine. It worked for me. It was mostly on time. When they came back, it was mostly on time because I'm like, if they're like 30 minutes late, I will be so mad. Because it had been raining for hours. It's like I just wanted it to be over. Like I was super excited for the balcony, but I was like, if I could just get this over with, and then I would feel better. And I'm like, ah. Hi, Annie says, I was wondering if you could say something about the gowns William and Catherine and others were wearing at the coronation. If Harry and Meghan were still working royals, would they have worn them too? So this is about the robes. So Catherine is a member of the Royal Victorian Order. William is the Order of the Garter. So they wore those robes, particularly with that establishment. Now, thinking of Harry may have been made a member of the Order of the Garter before, if Meghan hadn't happened. Maybe last year or the year before, possibly, because he had been married at that point. He had been working royal for a while. But because he was not, even if Harry and Meghan had been there, they may have not worn robes because they may have not have had anything to wear. So Catherine only got the Royal Victorian Order, I'm going to say it was almost like 8 years into her marriage. Meghan didn't make it hardly that long. So I don't think she would have had anything to wear when it came to that. And William was made Order of the Garter before he even married Kate in like '08, I think, or something. But he is the future king. So it makes sense. Harry being the spare. I mean, would he have been made an Order of the Garter this year or next year if he was still in the royal family with Charles? Probably. But other than that, probably no. So yeah. My cat's name is Karen. Does Meghan Markle have a Princess Di's card you watch, or does she buy an identical one? She says she has. I think she wants people to believe she has the one, but I feel like it's identical. That's just my personal opinion. Aaron says if Diana was alive, she would be the Dowager Princess of Wales, because technically Catherine isn't Catherine Princess of Wales. So yeah, Catherine would be Catherine the Princess of Wales. Diana's just Princess of Wales. And there's not really a incidence of Dowager necessarily in that title. But again, kind of, it might have been a bit of a new situation to a certain extent, because that was kind of a new thing. All right, ZZ, thank you so much for the tip. What do you think of Rose, Hanbury, and Catherine both wearing Meghan's Aquazzura pumps and white and black dresses? Rose wore the outfit to the coronation, Catherine to one of the walkabouts. I don't think it's subtle shade to Meghan. Catherine has another pair of those very similar pumps, and so she likes Aquazzura. And I actually have the blue. I actually did a fashion video that I haven't uploaded yet. And I bought when they were on sale, those blue Aquazzura pumps with the sling back bedazzled thing, because they were on sale. And I've been watching them for a long time. So I do actually have those. But I don't think it was super subtle shade. But again, I mean, I think both the women are aware of the rumor and just choose to ignore it. And, you know, the powerful thing is just wearing what you like. I'm just going to wear X and wear X. Who cares? And I think sometimes we all do, to a certain extent, I think, read too much into something. And so I just think that is what we do sometimes. So Prangzenga says, wondering if Harry bought anyone's souvenirs from the coronation. Probably not. Maybe he did, but I'm sure he had a staff member go out and buy something for his children. All right. MAPG says, Harry's situation tugs at my heart, but relief can be found if knowing Catherine and her family are there to support him. Yeah, I think William has a lot of support from Catherine and her family, and I think he really appreciates them because of that. I think that was really, really super important to him, and I think he's really leaned on them quite a lot. Jennifer says, do you think Sophie's royal escort hit old lady the other day? Yes, I meant to tweet about it, and then I kept forgetting. So yeah, apparently they accidentally hit somebody, an elderly woman. But I mean, it wasn't Sophie didn't even see the accident. And so, yeah, it looked like it was raining too. So yeah, definitely a sad day. And so hopefully she is able to recover. And so let's go ahead and see. Maureen, be honest, was glad you're back from the coronation. Thank you. Yeah. I definitely didn't get accomplished quite as much in terms of video production as I thought, but yeah, it's definitely a lot. All right. Joder said, hi, Brittany, when I'll be back in Europe. Yeah, so I'll be actually going, not next week, but the week after, for leading my tour. So that'll be super exciting. I was originally going to have it happen basically before the projected date of the coronation, which was originally in June. Obviously, they moved it to May. And so I had the trip, but I was going to stay for another couple weeks, but I think I'll actually come home probably right after it. My sister's getting married in July. And I have a new place that I rented. And so, because this place I'm living in right now and this other place will overlap for just a brief period of time. And I haven't even lived in the new place yet. I have like 3 boxes in there. So I have so much to do. Actually, in fact, once I get done with this, I'll spend the rest of the day finishing up my paper for one of my classes, my last paper. So it will be fun. Carol Willingham says, hi, Brittany. Loved your dog and duck adventure. So fun. It was so fun. And what was actually kind of funny is, I don't know if any of y'all follow Elizabeth Holmes, is she actually went to the Duck and Dry to get her hair blown out, which I thought was so funny, because when I woke up, I kept thinking, I knew duck was part of it, and I couldn't remember the other part. I knew it started with a D. And so I almost went to the Duck and Dry, which I thought was really funny. Sarah says, Harry looked absolutely miserable. Can you imagine talking horribly about your family and then being surrounded by everyone you talked about. I think he looked much more happier before Meghan. Yeah, I think so too. And it's not just uncomfortableness with the whole situation, but realizing that, hey, I was supposed to be a much bigger part of this and I'm not. And although he says he resents his family for not including Meghan, because they did not include Meghan, but at the same time, it's like, well, what did you want them to do? They could not make her queen. And we know you all worship her. We know you worship her, but not everybody else worships her. So, yeah. Aw, Sarah says Miss Pippa is so sweet. She is a doll baby. Amy says, Brittany, I just moved to the East Coast from Hawaii, and it's the first time catching a live stream. I've been there since 40K. Your channel is growing so fast. Love your insight, worldview. Oh, Amy, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed your move. That is a crazy long move. But I'm sure it's Hawaii is a lovely place. But you do get, I would imagine living there, you would get a bit of cabin fever, but maybe that's just me. Oh, wow, we have somebody else. Hi, Brittany, from Trinidad and Tobago. Wow, very, very far away. Think in the Pacific. So that's just crazy. It's always crazy. It's always crazy to me how many people are here from all over the world. It's amazing. All right, Pinkie Pie, how do you think she will have her PR change that enough people will buy into it? So I guess this is from about Meghan. So Meghan, I don't know if Meghan, I don't know about her PR. Her PR is definitely a mess. It is really a mess. So I just think her PR is a disaster. But she really needs to just take a step back. And she needs to actually work and not tell us how great she is all the time. Or have her friends tell us. Like her friend telling us how great a support she is as a mom and everything. It's like, that doesn't mean anything. We don't see it. It's like, it's just silly, especially when it's a Mother's Day and this mother lost her child and she's posting about Meghan Markle. Yeah, that just comes across as a little odd. Dolores says, I feel so sorry for Harry and Meghan's children. They are missing so much with with having no family around. Can you imagine how much fun they would have had with their cousins over the coronation? Yeah, they would have had a blast. They would have had an absolute blast. So, all right. Jay Trotty says, thank you so much for the coverage and commentary. You're so welcome. Angela says, loves Sarah Ferguson's interview. So impressed with her support for the monarchy. I do think that's great. And that's, again, how you can be a productive ex-member of the royal family, is by just being supportive and not trying to drag down the institution at the same time. But Harry and Meghan have chosen a different path, and then they wonder why everybody's mad at them. So it's one of those big mysteries of life, Harry. Millie says, have you heard the new rumor Meg is claiming to be secretly pregnant? No, that's why she didn't go to the coronation. If Meghan's pregnant again, that's because she really is truly desperate for good PR. I don't think she is. I mean, again, she's much older and everything. And at the same time, too, her and Harry won an award for having 2 children. So if they have a third, they're hypocrites, but they are hypocrites. So that would be surprising either if they mess up their own PR and go, you know what, we're just going to have another kid because we need good PR. Yeah. So. So we had, okay. Let's see. Lynn, where can I go to see them bigger? Oh, the pictures, just Google George, Charles, and William, and you can see a ton of pictures. All right, we have CJ. Hello, Brittany. I hope you're adjusting back from your trip. I nearly spit out my tea when you say Harry doesn't drink anymore because of Meghan. This is the woman who named her blog after Tiganello. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think she likes him drinking heavily or beer. Like, I'm sure she approves him drinking wine. But yeah, she doesn't, again. Oh gosh, the Tig name is awful. The Tig name is awful. A Tig moment. Oh my gosh, it's so pretentious and ridiculous and so lame. So yeah, so they have a very interesting dynamic. I saw a Mother's Day post from Meghan's friend about her this morning. Her friends look very different from the Sussex squad. Yeah, as somebody pointed out, most of them are white, and Meghan claims that she's trying to help women of color, and she doesn't really seem to have any friends who are women of color, except for Serena Williams and Oprah Winfrey, both the people she gets things from. So yeah. Try Made in Italy. It's a pizza place in Chelsea. Ooh, that sounds good. I love pizza places, especially pizza is so good. Did you see any musical in London last time I visited? I saw Hamilton and Wicked. So I walked by the buildings where Hamilton and Wicked are, but I didn't. I'm not a huge musical person, so I didn't go. I thought it would have been cool to go to like a ballet. That would have been really cool, but I didn't get a chance to really. I was mostly focused on the Coronation, so I didn't really get a bunch of extra time. I think in the next couple of years, just depending on how life goes and everything, that I may spend a month or so in the UK in the summer. So like in June, maybe May, June. And because there's a lot of events, like usually they have certain National Day celebrations in different countries and stuff. And that would be a time to do something like going to a ballet or musical or something like that. Terry says, Brittany, what is next for your royal coverage? Will you be in the UK for Trooping the Color? I was initially planning on it. I haven't amended my flight yet, but I think I'll go ahead and come home after my group trip ends like the very end of May. I don't think I'll stay because Trooping's not until June 20th. So that's pretty far away. And I just don't have a great plan for what to do. And so, yeah, I think I will go ahead and probably do that. And so this year, probably not Trooping, but if they open up the exhibit for showing off the Coronation outfits, and that is only like a month long or something, I may have to go sometime in July if that opening date is correct. And then probably my big next event I was planning on covering is the Golden Jubilee in Sweden in September. So I'm super stoked about that. And if I can get enough people on my trip to Germany and Austria, that will be part of it too. So I need 10 people to sign up by June. And so we have 3. So we shall see if that fills out or not. I would be super excited if it would. It looks amazing. Like I was doing some research on videos and stuff for it yesterday. It looks really, really incredible, going to some really incredible places. So lots of castles and palaces, which is awesome. Colleen says, oh, he can't drink, but he can do mushrooms. Yeah, he's doing all these psychedelics, but he can't drink. I'm like, oh my gosh. Debbie from California, I enjoy listening, but I'm concerned about William and Kate traveling as a family. If something should happen to them, would Harry be next in line? Is that right? That is right. Although if Harry and Meghan somehow, through something catastrophic, ascended the throne, I imagine that the British monarchy would be a republic pretty quickly. I don't think anybody wants Meghan Markle on the throne. Nobody really wants their kids on the throne. Nobody knows them. So yeah, I just don't think that'll happen. So, but yeah, Harriet, Catherine, and William need to take that flying separately thing, more seriously. I know it's weird, but there's a reason for it. Even the most competent pilots there can be something catastrophic happens and there's just nothing you can do. So I hope they don't travel as a family much anymore. I think that would be a good thing. Okay. Arian says, Brittany, would it be nice if you tell us the difference between royal titles and who is bowing to whom? So it depends on. So the Queen issued an order, at least in the British royal family, that anybody who was a blood princess, Catherine had to curtsy to if she wasn't with her husband. So she's at an event, it's just her and Anne. She would have to curtsy to Anne. I don't know if those rules have been amended now since the Queen has died. I'm not sure. But generally, you should curtsy to somebody who has his or her Royal Highness in front of their title. So ergo, Harry, you would never need to curtsy to Harry and Meghan because they don't have, officially no, but they're no longer allowed to use their HRH title, so you wouldn't have to curtsy to them. So that's a big thing, is the curtsying. Generally, if somebody is above you, so if you are meeting someone like Crown Princess Mary and you're meeting the King of England, you would curtsy to him. Even though he's not your king, you would still curtsy to him. Same with any other country. But if you are both, if a king and queen are meeting another king and queen, you would not have to do that. So that's kind of the short answer to all of it. And every family is different. That's kind of sometimes the hard thing about royal titles. It's like they're all different in how they operate and work. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. So we shall see. So Chris says Chelsy Davy dodged a bullet. Clever girl. I think she is clever. I think she did definitely dodge a bullet. That's for sure. Zandane, thank you so much for the super sticker. Keep up the great work from Denmark. I would love to go to Denmark. I'm hoping to go there sometime soon. I think it would be awesome. And so it's just super be super exciting. I really want to go to the Scandinavian countries again, going to Sweden in September. And then if I had stayed in Europe, and again, it's still tenuous, I would probably go to the Denmark state visit from Norway, which I think would be, so the Norwegian royals are going to Denmark. And I think that would be awesome. Because again, the close family relations between all those countries are very cool. All right, Crash Hard, congrats on the selfie with Princess Catherine. Thank you for your insight and commentary. Love Princess Catherine's headpiece. Yes, I loved it as well. And I just thought it was just so interesting that she's like wearing a tiara and not wearing a tiara. And I'm like, Charles, just let the girl wear a tiara. It looks amazing, but just let the girl wear a tiara, man. But it wasn't my decision. So I can't say, but I was just so sad. No tiaras. It's just so sad. Robin Rogers says, hi, Brittany. Happy Mother's Day from North Carolina to all the fur baby mamas as well. Oh, thank you. My fur baby is sleeping. Have you seen any positive traction from Medusa M since her styling of global icon? Not really. I mean, again, I don't think anybody totally believes Meghan Markle is like this super big icon. Again, doesn't quite understand, I don't think, or doesn't want to accept that the interest in her is a car crash mentality. People are interested in her not because they find herself all that interesting. The interest comes from watching somebody completely wreck their lives for seemingly no reason. That's what the interest comes from, is watching somebody make a complete and total mess of their lives for seemingly no reason whatsoever. And so she just doesn't quite get that. And so it's just like, yeah. So I don't think her sense of style, I think, is pretty bad 9/10 of the time. It doesn't fit. It's wrinkled. It's whatever. So yeah, I don't think it's all that great. Oh, my baby keeps moving and she's like, I want to get over here and just put my head into it like a dark spot so I can sleep. She's so cute. Okay. Night Owl says, Brittany, you don't need a hot chocolate maker if you have a blender at home. Just warm up the milk, melt the chocolate, put it in a blender, and make it velvety. Oh, that's a great idea. That is a great idea. Claire says, sorry about the multiple comments. I'm new to this. Love your channel, Brittany. Oh, no worries at all. Just trying to make sure I get to people I haven't gotten to yet. And sometimes I'm like, see, oh, that's a great question. But, I've answered this person's a couple of times yet. Let me see if I haven't somebody new I can chat about. And who would you want to have a stranger grab your neck and force you to have a selfie? I don't think anybody would like that. So people, please don't do that, because we would lose the selfie privileges with Catherine and William and the rest of the royals if people start kind of abusing it in that way. All right. Carol Williams says, speaking of SNC, I heard a report that Jimmy Choo, who seemed to make all of Claire's shoes, got his start in the Princess Trust. I hope that's true. Well, it was actually a woman who started Jimmy Choo, or at least it was a woman who ran it for a while, Tamara Mellon, because she sold it and then started making her own line. That's the only reason I know. And Meghan wore some of her shoes. And so I'm not sure, though. Okay. So Anne says, good morning from Washington State. Does anybody ever see Harry's children? There were pictures of Meghan hiking, a perfect kid pastime, yet no kids. No, never see those kids in public with their parents. It's weird. It's super weird. Even parents who say, because I was trying to think through this a bit, trying to kind of rationalize it. Even parents like Blake Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, they have 4 children. They do go out with their children from time to time. And at the same time, also, they don't talk, I feel like, constantly about being parents. They don't shove it in our face all the time that they're parents, and yet we never see them with their kids. I feel like we see them with their kids. We see them not with their kids. I still think of Blake Lively as a style icon more than I think of her as a mom. Not that that's good or bad or anything. That's just, she's just done a really good job of creating an image before then. And so I just think it's weird that we don't ever see Harry and Meghan with their kids. And we don't even hear any reports of somebody going, oh, I saw Meghan with Harry at the store. Nothing. It's crickets. Because we hear stories from time to time about Catherine being out with her children. We don't hear any of that about Meghan. So it's like, is this woman ever out with her children? Now, granted, does she go grocery shopping for herself? Probably not. But where are those children? Do they get out of that house ever? I just don't know. It's so... Oh, Kimberly says, Brittany, I'm confused why you couldn't get any Wi-Fi outside the palace. So yeah, cell coverage was down. There was just no cell coverage whatsoever. you could not get anything. About by 8 or 9 o'clock, like you would try to put in a website, nothing. You try to refresh Twitter, nothing. I tried it multiple times, just nothing. I had to get pretty far away to finally start getting internet. And again, it's just one of those things that happens when you have a ton of people in one location, is that it does tend to clog up the bandwidth. And we were packed in really close together. So once the crowd disperses, it gets better. But when everybody is crammed into this very small space, the internet tends to get slower. But it's also probably a anti-terrorism measure too. So you don't have any like IEDs that could be set off from a distance by a cell phone. So they basically jam the signals, which kind of sucks. Brittany, you look beautiful. Oh, Shauna, thank you. Today, what do you think about the terrible white comment from the actress did? Also, ABC coverage of the coronation was obsessed with race and inclusivity. Yeah, I think it was awful to say. Like, would you say that about the Lesotho royal family in Africa? They look too black. Like that's like the opposite thing. So I think it was, it is what it is. Like, let's not demonize history. Like they're English. And I know English people can be a myriad of different colors, but when it comes to the royal family, generally throughout the centuries, as far as we're aware, they've all been white. And I don't think that's necessarily like a super bad thing, because that is kind of, Britain used to be pretty much all white. So again, it's just that this weird time period that we're in is just odd. So I do feel sorry for all that. John Alvarez said, glad you're back. Any new royal books? Yeah, I got a couple, and I almost wish I hadn't, because then I had to take them home. And I got a lot of stuff. I'm like, Kim says, Meghan Markle's kids are accessories when she needs them. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Patricia says, off topic, what does Catherine do with all of her clothes? That is a good question. I'm sure some of them she keeps for, she puts in kind of like a special storage. We've heard Kim Kardashian talk about like archiving her clothes. I'm sure Catherine does that to a certain extent, like things either she can't wear anymore, or things that she wants to keep in like perpetuity, like that gorgeous James Bond dress that she wore, the gold one, or some things that maybe she was like, her other James Bond dress that she wore, the light blue one, which I don't think was particularly flattering on her, I think that one probably went into, maybe I won't wear that one again. But yeah, I think she keeps some things, obviously, are everyday wear, and some things she's like, yeah, I'll get these back into the rotation. And then other things she's like, she may, I don't know if she would sell them necessarily, but I can see her like exchanging maybe something with her sister, although we really haven't seen her sister wear anything that she's worn to an official event. And her sister has a lot of her own money. So I don't know. I think she just keeps them, probably for Charlotte too. Snowflow, thank you so much for the super sticker. You are so kind. Brindy says, where's Meghan's diamond pinky ring from? Well, the rumor is that it is from the Saudis, which would mean that it's from the Saudi crown prince, which would make it kind of a blood diamond, because he's the one who killed the journalist. So yeah. My cat's name is Kira. There's a little debate about the Princess of Wales Greek-inspired headpiece. Lady C doesn't think it was a nod to Prince Philip's history and Jesus, and the behavior guy does. I heard, Jesus. I've heard that more than one person say that. I think it was actually inspired from the Queen's ladies in waiting that attended her at her own coronation. I can't remember I want to say handmaidens, but I don't feel like that's right. I think it was a nod to their headpieces, and it looked a lot like a tiara, and it was styled a lot like tiaras I've seen. I knew it wasn't a British one because I hadn't seen anything like that when I first saw it. But yeah, I don't think, and Jesus, he knows a lot about body language, but I don't think he knows a ton about royalty. So, but yeah, I don't think when it comes to this instance, I think it was inspired. Somebody said it was inspired by the Queen, and I can see that. The Queen's coronation. Her handmaidens, if you look at those pictures of the women who attended her, it looks very similar to what Catherine has. So Catherine is very aware of history and image and everything. So I'm sure she was like, okay, you know what? Well, that would be a good idea. Colleen says, did she ever get it after marrying Harry? So I guess you're wondering if Chelsy got married. Chelsy did get married, and she has a son now. So I think she's doing pretty well. Jamie says, does King Charles live in Buckingham now? No. As far as I'm aware, he still lives in Clarence House. Buckingham Palace is undergoing a massive, massive renovation. And so apparently he is still in Clarence House and he likes Clarence House better. Nobody seems to like living in Buckingham Palace. I think it's because it's more of an office than anything else. Like all the staff goes there and everything. And all of those staffs at Clarence House too, I'm sure it feels a bit more homey than Buckingham Palace, which is just big. Just big. Night Owl says, did you go back to the Dog and Duck after the coronation? It was kind of a far across town, so I decided not to. But I did go to, because a couple of people asked me to grab a pint, and so I did go to, it was called a Bag o' Nails. It was this interesting little pub, and I got a mac and cheese, which was actually really good, and I got a pint, which you would have a hard time seeing the difference between when I got it and when I finished, because I don't drink. I'm not a super huge beer fan. I meant to post a picture and I keep forgetting. I'll post a picture. I should have done it before and after, because that was really funny, because there's like nothing. There's nothing. My cat's name is Karen. Yes, I agree. I love the Greek reference of being the winner. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for the tip. Yeah. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, I hope for the exhibition we get some more details about inspirations and stuff for different things. So Jamie says, do you think King Charles will open Buckingham Palace to the public in an effort to slim down the marketing, like he said, and not live Buckingham? I mean, that's a great question. I think if he wasn't living there, that's what they should do with Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace is just super big. But I understand they need to keep it open for state visits and those sorts of things. So I don't know. But I do see the point too of the monarch living at Buckingham Palace. I do think there's a symbolic thing there, but I can also understand him not wanting to live there. So, because nobody else seems to ever want to actually like live there. Some people have apartments there, but they're not super excited about it. So Kim asked, hi, Brittany, did you see Meghan taking a hike in her Cartier watch? Silly publicity stunt. Oh yeah, heck yeah. I was like, why is she wearing she's wearing $100,000+ worth of jewelry on a hike. I usually I understand keeping your wedding ring on, although it didn't look like her engagement ring was on, just her wedding ring. But like the pinky ring, this pretentious pinky ring. I hate the pinky ring. I'm not a fan of pinky rings. I understand pinky rings in terms of signet rings, because there is like a history there, so I appreciate it. But I just think it's so pretentious to like going, I'm going to take this like 2 or 3 carat diamond and I'm going to make it a pinky ring. Like, what the heck? Terry O'Donnell, Terry says, I think the York sisters and the Wessex children will be future support for the monarchy, unofficially doing work for the royals. What do you think? I mean, they're already doing it a little bit. They have a couple engagements. I wish they would just be officially brought into the fold and be done with it. I think Charles, keeping them at arm's length isn't the best. Linda Glass says, is Meghan Markle the new Amber Heard? I don't think Amber Heard's crazy. That would be that's my personal opinion. So I don't think she's tips quite the same scale, but can they both be a bit manipulative? I think so. Marblehead said, Brittany, stay in your comfort zone. I think pizza's is an amazing city and no theater, no musicals. Yeah. So yeah, no theater, no musicals, but I one evening, I spent a good chunk of the day just editing a video and filming a video. So guys, it takes a little bit of time. So I didn't have quite as much free time as you would think. Joan says, will Harry go to the Trooping the Color? That'll be an interesting question. That'll be super, super interesting. I would be super curious to know if you would. Just really, really curious. Because at the same time, I think it would be really interesting to see if Meghan would go with the kids. Super interesting to go to that, because they could get on the balcony. And then it's like, well, then you didn't go to the coronation. Why? So yeah. Cam Funk says, Brittany, good morning. Do you think King Charles will truly open Balmoral Castle to the public during certain times of the year? He may. I don't know if he's as tied to it again as the Queen was. And it is one of the personal properties that he does have. So McCinder G, did Catherine have to curtsy to the York girls? If she was not with her husband, technically, yes. Do we know that she did that? I have no idea. We've never seen that publicly acted out. So I have no clue. But technically, yes, it was made made public that if Catherine was with the York girls without her husband, technically she should curtsy to them. Because again, this is how most royal families work. Blood is key here. If you are a blood royal, you are just a bit more, you have a bit more leeway, a bit more power, a bit more influence than somebody who's not a blood royal. It's just how it goes. Patricia says Brittany should visit all the Commonwealth countries, starting with Vancouver, Canada. I've actually have been to Vancouver. It's been a long time, but yeah, I would love to go. I mean, I would love to go to again. I'm really hoping Australia happens. I think that would be amazing. I'm like really, because I was thinking too, if I didn't do June, like then Australia in the fall would definitely be much easier to swing. I would be super, super stoked about it because that would be super fun. And there's just other places I'd like to go to in Europe, especially in the Scandinavian countries and stuff. But, you know, it just all depends on timing and stuff. And I found too that like when I'm traveling, especially when I'm trying to see things, I don't have a lot of time to film and edit videos. And so that becomes a little bit harder to make the traveling sometimes more, to make it feasible. So I would have to see, if I can get an editor going at some point, that would probably be the easiest route to go in. Kimberly says Monaco is beautiful as well as is the palace. Yes, I really do want to go to Monaco National Day. That's like also one of the things that's kind of on my bucket list. But I don't know. It depends on how, if we go somewhere as a family for Thanksgiving, there's been some talk about going somewhere. So I'd have to see, because it is right before Thanksgiving and I would just hate. And this is the other reason why I don't want to go for all of June. I would feel so sorry for my little poor puppy baby. She'd be like, why are you leaving me all the time? All the time. So she misses me when I'm gone. She does. She does. And I'd like to actually take her with me because I think she'd just be so excited to see all the different people and have all the new smells. In Europe would be so fun to her. And she was just like, she'd get so excited because if she saw bunnies and squirrels and stuff, ooh, we could go to the park and she'd just be so excited. But she'd probably also trip over herself trying to say hi to everybody because she just loves people. So somebody asked here and I lost it. What happened to Chelsy? So she, again, like I said, she opened her own jewelry business. She decided to go to like a gemology school because she wasn't really feeling being a barrister. So that's a lawyer. So she did that. And so she opened up her own jewelry line, Aya. And then she decided to open up a boutique travel company, Aya Travel, which focuses on Africa. So that's what she's doing. I believe she is now married with a child. I know she has a child. I don't know if she officially married the guy or not. The word on the street is that she did. She has a son, I guess. So I think that's amazing for her. I think it's great that she's kept herself low key pretty much. So yeah. My cat's name is Karen, says J.R. Mowinger, the ghostwriter, talks about Meghan and Harry bringing him sweets and treats. We all know how honest that guy is. I mean, I think he's honest, but Meghan wanted something for him. So of course she's nice. She's nice to people she wants things from. But if you are a staff member, watch out, I would say. So Pinkie Pie says, heard when Harry came back to the U.S., he went to a polo match, not a birthday party, maybe. Harry's look as Charlotte was longing. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think he probably did go home and to the kids. And if he went to a polo game, I'm sure we would have seen something, but he's not playing. It doesn't seem like on the teams this year. So I don't know why. I don't know if she brought too much attention to himself. He's got other plans, or if everybody was like, you know what, you're really not that good, or you bring a lot of negative attention. So you know what, we don't want you to play. So you feel sorry for the guy. Meghan has this huge deal and he has nothing. I'm like, what does Harry have? Meghan has this huge deal. He has nothing. So, all right. Jotter said, who knows, Brittany, your future husband may be British or even European. Love your channel. Oh, thank you. That would be interesting. That would be fun, though. That would be fun. But yeah, so we shall see. Oh, so Briggs says, I finally made it to live. Love your channel. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So we have Marblehead says, I don't think you name a regent unless a parent has died. So there are, though, instances where the parent is incapacitated. So like in Harald in Norway, basically his son is acting as regent. So that's Crown Prince Haakon is acting as regent right now while he's in the hospital. So hopefully he gets better soon. I don't know. I just feel like we hear every couple months that he's in the hospital again. So I just don't think he's doing too well, which is really sad. So I think that would be, sadly, Yeah, because we have it's probably between him and Marguerite of Denmark. They're both getting up there. So I think Marguerite's maybe slightly healthier, but she is also a chain smoker. So we'll see. She's well known for smoking in her tiaras. You can kind of give her mad props for that. So it's kind of funny when you are an American royal watcher and named Brittany. That's true, because Brittany means from Britain. That's what the name means, which is really funny. And I went to Brittany, France, like the region, I think. And it was kind of funny because I was really hoping to find a sign that said "Welcome to Brittany," and there was no sign. I was really bummed. But I did get to go on the Brittany ferry, and I have like a soap packet from it, like somewhere. I don't know if they're still active or not. I don't know if they're still active, but yeah. Oh, Allison Caddick, I've done a tour of Buckingham Palace. You are so lucky. I've not done that yet. I'm not done that yet, and I really want to. But yeah. And Deborah says Buckingham Palace is supposedly very drafty in the winter. Yeah, so I mean, I think people don't understand that palaces and castles, they were built in a different time. And so they don't have a lot of modern conveniences. When the modern conveniences have been added, they've been like kind of shoved into a place that they didn't really work. And so I'm sure they have to have even more upkeep because, in a modern home that you built, like the place I'm moving to, it's technically I'm renting a house and it's a new built house. So it's like everything is where it's supposed to be. Now, is it perfect? No. There's actually something I just realized that I need to tell them about again that I keep forgetting. But everything is built in where it's supposed to be, like the pipes are all in the right place and stuff. And if you think about Buckingham Palace, like it's totally different. There was no option for central air or central heat at the time. They had boilers and fireplaces that added the heat, not like an actual system and broiler or whatever boiler that does it. And so these poor palaces are very drafty, very uncomfortable in a lot of ways because they're just meant for a totally different time period. The older the place gets, the worse it gets, I think. And so Buckingham Palace is not terribly old, but in terms of, looking at the rest of Europe, but again, definitely not perfect. Millie says, I would imagine the palace is haunted. How many royals have died there? Probably. I would say that the most haunted place is probably Tower of London because a lot more people have died there and spent a lot of time there. So, and very stressful and trying circumstances. Sean asks, Brittany, we love your pic with Princess Catherine. It was awesome. Why, thank you. Yes, it was awesome. I was just so excited. I was like, can I get a selfie? Because there was this like really pushy guy behind me. So I was like, I just want my selfie. Somebody asked, Nicole, where's Miss Pippa? She is sleeping. She is sleeping over here. So she's like, she's like, I don't know why you talk to yourself, Mama. So here she is. So she's a good girl. So she enjoys saying hi to everyone, although she doesn't know anybody's here. So look, it's over there. It's over there. She doesn't see you guys, but I tried to convince her you guys are there. She doesn't think so. She was really excited though the other day. She saw a bunny and that was super exciting. She likes bunnies and she doesn't see them nearly enough anymore. Deborah R. asked, do you think Princess Catherine wants to use her parents to help because Eugenie and Beatrice have been too mean to her? No. She would not use her parents. Her parents aren't blood royals. That's just not how it works. So, Sharon, thank you so much for the super sticker. You are so kind. I really do appreciate it. All right. Okay, so let's go through here and maybe wrap it up here in a minute. Because like I said, I got a paper to write. I have one paragraph of like a 13-page paper to luckily I can write fast and good. Has there been any pictures of Archie supposedly partying? Does anyone know? No. Again, not surprising, but you know what? I think it's good, but at the same time, yeah, kind of sad too. Well, Harry and Meghan attend trooping. He wasn't going to go back to the country for a trial around that time. Yeah, I could see him going, especially if they get their balcony moment. And if they do and they get their balcony moment, then it's like clear that the only reason they didn't go is that they're going to be on the balcony. But again, Harry and Meghan, they just desperately want that royal connection. So it would be super fun. Like there's a part of me that's like, I really want to go to trooping just because I want to see Harry and Meghan interact with everybody on the balcony. But yeah, we don't know. So Sharon, are your parents royal watchers? Well, my mom was a little bit before, and now she's super into it. My dad now even sends me articles about the royal news stuff, which is so funny because he's not really all that into it, but he's gotten a little bit more into it since I started it, which is super sweet, which is really, really sweet. So, yeah. So, and my cat's name is Karen Stats. What's your paper on? It's on Eleanor of Aquitaine, the historiography of Eleanor of Aquitaine. So that'll be fun. So, guys, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Miss Pippa says, you know what? I maybe want some cuddles and I want to go outside and enjoy sitting in my bed outside. She likes being outside. So, guys, yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday. And I probably won't have a live stream maybe for the next 2 weeks. But I'll figure out maybe a day I can do it sometime earlier next week, but I can't do it Saturday. So, and I can't do it next Saturday because I'll be on a tour with some of you guys, which will be so fun. I can't wait. So, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.